Welcome back, everyone. LTC coin is today's topic, and basically, we expect to see some kind of bullish momentum here happening. And before we even start, let me put on the indicator. So, this is the Bollinger Bands, which many of you know that we use it most of the times, depending on the time frame. So, currently on a daily time frame, we see that we went outside. So, let's take highlights. We went outside here to the oversold zone. And now, basically, usually when you go in oversold or overbought zones with some kind of like weak movement, similar happened here. You can see here as well, and here, maybe somewhere else, some kind of okay. Won't take it into like way too far. Basically, when we go in outside the Bollinger Band's path, we see some kind of movement in the opposite direction. So we went outside, liquidity movement, bullish momentum, went to the other side here. Same happened here, and we went to the other side. Now, there is a possibility of price to move basically to the upper zones here, most logical movement, and then further back to the lower zones here. Of course, depending how the development of the Bollinger Bands is going to happen. But our major like target zone would be this 200 EMA daily one, and the dotted line is basically a prediction where it might like lead us to. So the movement or the bigger movement that we want to see is touching this zone here, and from here on a possible movement to the upper zones towards 150, maybe 140, basically doubling the price once we touch this zone. Because first of all, after having this kind of like bigger movement here, of course we had some kind of like correction movement, but we don't see that this is yet like a finished correction movement. Ideally, we need to see a retest or at least price reaching closer to this 200 EMA, because if we would see from this time a bounce, and from here basically like break of structure, break of structure, break of structure happening, then of course we would go to the zone. But we had some kind of bullish momentum leading to the upper zone of the Bollinger Bands and back to the lower side. So game plan is pretty simple. As we mentioned, we want to see the price to move here. So this is going to be like it's way too big, but let it be. So this is the first zone that we want to see the price to move. Let's do it like this. So first zone, from here would be ideal to see price to move here. So shorting position, and from here the most ideal movement would be basically to go for this zone here. So three possible setups here. First one is a long position with 14%. So risk and reward ratio is basically 1 to 2. Now from here, once we see some kind of weakness kicking in, so the position should be something like this. Risk and reward ratio is again 1 to 3 this time. And the last one is almighty long position. Once we see that bulls are taking over the zone, then we want to see some kind of this movement. Now, this is not like 100%, but again, on the bigger time frame, you can see that we have a lot of room to move. So who knows where we land. But as like a swing trade, we would say, or midterm trade, we would take the position as of this. So 1, 2, and 3. Risk and reward ratios are good. I would even put the stop loss slightly below the 200 EMA, because we might see some kind of like liquidity movements. But overall, this is the setups that we want to see on the LTC coin. So we can see that we are already seeing some kind of like correctional movement. Now there is one risky thing as well. Basically, price is forming some kind of like, not forming, but price had a market structure break, meaning this zone here was broken. Now, if buyers manage to secure this zone here, let me take this way. So if buyers manage to secure this zone here, not buyers, sellers, then we would straight away go for like this dotted line here. So daily 100 EMA, because here we see some FVGs. And usually when we have some kind of like market structure break, then we have fill of FVGs and then steep movement to lower zones. So then this scenario would be cancelled and we would go straight to the like downward movement here. So that's it for the Litecoin. 3 possible setups. If this one fails, so if sellers take over the zone, then just go with this kind of scenario. So taking like this, and stop loss would be somewhere like 4 hours EMAs or this middle line of Bollinger Bands. Again, risk and reward ratio is still very good. So that's it for today, and as always, trade safe and see you on the next video.